Hey everybody, just Jesse here, welcoming you back to my garage, my man cave, for another day of accountability. And how are you guys doing with your accountability trek? I hope you guys are doing well. Well, today I ended up reading Hosea chapter 14, and the last verse in this chapter really was a home run hitter. But first, I want to tell you that today is Wednesday. It's June 14th, the year 2020, and what I read about was how leaders are supposed to love everyone, but they're not supposed to drop their convictions. They're supposed to hold on to what they believe in that. So I'll read Hosea 14:9 for you, and it says, "Who is wise? Let them realize these things. Who is discerning? Let them understand. The ways of the Lord are right. The righteous walk in them, but the rebellious stumble in them." And I mean, you can read it 100 times and sometimes get different conclusions. But the conclusion that I got today is that, is there a time when showing compassion for someone ends? Like, do they run out of your compassion? I believe that as a Christian and a leader, that we need to love and care for anyone that we come in contact with, but we still have to hold our convictions. We can't just throw that away. We're to respond with grace, but not fall away from God's principles or promises. We have to remember that His priorities are things that we need to make priorities in our life. So even when our backs are against the wall, and even when we're at rock bottom, we need to hold on to those convictions that God's placed in our hearts. Leaders live out their priorities by acting from their principles. Also, by empowering others, even when it's difficult, and always by remembering to live off of character. Now, those are three things that leaders do on a daily basis that keep them motivated enough to go out and keep leading for God. So those are acting from principles, empowering others even when it's difficult, and it will be difficult, and remembering to live off of character. And that one is so hard to do. They're all hard to do, but living off of your character, unless you've mastered that, that's something that is a daily growth in your life. So that being said about leaders, let's look at what followers bring into this. So really, followers often react from their feelings, so they're very standoffish on why they have to explain why they did something, why this went the way it did. They also withdraw from difficult times. I know that growing up, when things got difficult, when people got angry, I know that I wouldn't put myself in that situation. I would just leave. I'd go do my own thing, and it wasn't anything about growing my character. It was about getting out of the situation where I didn't want to be in. So it was definitely being a follower. It wasn't being a leader. And lastly, followers live life off of their emotions. They don't make clear and concise thoughts when it comes to like their convictions and stuff. It's just what feels good, what doesn't hurt, what makes you happy, what works the best for you at that time. And that's not something that we need to be dabbling in. We need to be firm in our principles that God set for us. So everything ultimately boils down to what our convictions are. Are we feeling are we fulfilling Christ's call on our lives as Christians? We're supposed to be Christ-like. That's what Christian is. Or will we be a sheep, and will we just follow the herd that's overpopulated and over-opinionated because they live off the fear of the unknown, because they're too emotionally inclined in their thought process? That's just some food for thought. Some questions pertaining to how oneself can motivate character. Now, it's really cool to see this in Hosea. It's really eye-opening to read about it, that it's clear and concise on how God wants you to lead and how God wants you to be as a person, living off of your morals, living off of your character, empowering others, like giving others the ability to stand up, giving them the tools that they need to become leaders themselves. That's things that we have to strive to do every day, and that's what our call is. Other than bringing people to Jesus, it's these three things. It's you know acting from your principles, teaching people how to do that, teaching people what the principles of God are, teaching people what the fruits of the Spirit are. All of these things really come about just when you think that I have a grasp on, oh man, this is so cool. This is how I'm going to start living my life. Everything's starting to click. God throws something in like this and has you question your principles as it sits. So are your principles lining up with God's principles? If not, line them up. That's the way to go. So thanks guys for hanging out with me in my garage, my man cave. I always have an open seat. I know there's a ladder in the background. We built a loft up there so I can put some storage, and we can utilize this place a little bit more for fellowship and just hanging out with each other. And so I look forward to hearing any comments or any questions you guys have, any concerns. Anything that you would like, go ahead and leave a comment. I do read them all, and I will get back to you on them, every one of them. I do that personally. If you like what I have to say, give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and do that. Make sure you ring the bell, and that lets you know when I have a new video up, which should be every day, since this is an accountability check on being in the Bible and what it's taught me that day. So I look forward to hearing from you guys. And one last thing is, if this message talked to you today and you think it could talk to somebody in your circle or somebody just outside of your circle, go ahead and share it with them. Don't be afraid. Get it on out there. Get God out there. That's what we need to do. And hopefully it can speak to them like it spoke to you, and like Hosea 14 spoke to me. All right, guys, I hope you guys are being safe. I hope that you're going and growing, and God bless you.